There's no testimony without a test. I'm here 'cause he said I could be. He has wrapped his arms around me. My life is a testament. I must tell someone about it. My life is a testament. I can't keep quiet just like Jesus. I was risen from the dead, I'm his child, just as he said. His love is greater than life's expectations. The shield of his grace is my protection. I got a testimony, yes I do. For his favor has kept me through. He can do the same for you. Try him and watch what he do. I testify he is more than enough. You will make it through even when it's rough. Give him all the thanks and praise. Be blessed for the rest of your days. There's no testimony without a test. He has wrapped his arms around me. My life is a testament. I must tell someone about it. My life is a testament. I can't keep quiet just like Jesus. I was risen from the dead, I'm his child, just as he said. His love is greater than life's expectations. The shield of his grace is my protection. I thank you, Lord, I thank you. There's no testimony without a test. I'm here 'cause he said I could be. He has wrapped his arms around me. My life is a testament. I must tell someone about it. My life is a testament. I can't keep quiet just like Jesus. I was risen from the dead, I'm his child, just as he said. His love is greater than life's expectations. The shield of his grace is my protection. I got a testimony, yes I do. For his favor has kept me through. He can do the same for you. Try him and watch what he do. I testify he is more than enough. You will make it through even when it's rough. Give him all the thanks and praise. Be blessed for the rest of your days. There's no testimony without a test. He has wrapped his arms around me. My life is a testament. I must tell someone about it. My life is a testament. I can't keep quiet just like Jesus. I was risen from the dead, I'm his child, just as he said. His love is greater than life's expectations. The shield of his grace is my protection. I thank you, Lord, I thank you. There's no testimony without a test. I'm here 'cause he said I could be. He has wrapped his arms around me.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Is anybody there? If you can hear me, can somebody drop down in the chat? I see I have 5 people. Welcome to Opinionated News. I'm Miss Open, and I'm here to give you a Sunday testimonial about how verbal abuse affected my life. If someone can hear me, can they please drop down in the chat? I haven't been live in a moment, so I'm just trying to make sure that you all can hear me. Hello?
There's no testimony. There's no testimony without a test. I'm here 'cause he said I could be. He has wrapped his arms around me. My life is a testament. I must tell someone about it. My life is a testament. I can't keep quiet just like Jesus. I was risen from the dead, I'm his child, just as he said. His love is greater than life's expectations. The shield of his grace is my protection. I got a testimony, yes I do. For his favor has kept me through. He can do the same for you. Try him and watch what he do. I testify he is more than enough. You will make it through, even when it's rough. Give him all the thanks and praise. Be blessed for the rest of your days. There's no testimony without a test. He has wrapped his arms around me. My life is a testament. I must tell someone about it. My life is a testament. I can't keep quiet just like Jesus. I was risen from the dead, I'm his child, just as he said. His love is greater than life's expectations. The shield of his grace is my protection. I thank you, Lord, I thank you.
Hello. Hey, Vibes. Hi, Pie. Thank you all for letting me know that you can hear me. I went back into my intro. This is my first time going live on my phone ever. So I'm on my phone. I know you all are used to seeing me on camera. I will not be on camera tonight. I'm running behind, but I'm coming back into into the sector. I'm coming back on YouTube. So you all will be seeing me sometime this week live and in action. But tonight I'm here to tell you my Sunday testimonial on how verbal abuse has affected my life. After the tragic events that has happened this week online, um, it sort of sent me back into childhood trauma a little bit. And so for that reason, I'm here to tell you all a little bit about me and how it affected me growing up. And I'm not trying to really focus on what we witnessed this week. What I am trying to focus on is myself, where I went from the abuse, how I have been still trying to overcome the abuse, and how I have been trying to break the cycle because I am raising a daughter. My daughter is 15 years old. And for those of you that don't know, I'm Miss Open. I'm 41 years old. I am a single mother of a one child. She's 15, as I just said, and we live here in Detroit, Michigan. And so tonight, I just want to tell you all my story. I see I have some new people came in. Hey, Golden, thank you for coming in. Thank you so much. Like I said, this is my first time coming live in like 3 or 4 months, you all. So for some reason, I'm actually more nervous on my phone and off camera than I am normally on camera. But I will not be on camera tonight, you all. I do apologize, but I'll be coming back on camera sometime throughout this week. But like I said, I'm here to tell my testimony about verbal abuse and how it affected me over the years, and not just myself, also my siblings. Um, I grew up, so we're gonna go back, give a little background to who I am and where I came from. I grew up in southern Georgia. I was born into wedlock with my father. At the time, he was 25. My mother, she was 28, if I'm not mistaken. I'm child number four. They were married, so we're going to fast forward a little bit. First of all, my father was a preacher. My mom was mostly a housewife, but then she got into nursing later on. But we'll fast forward. They stayed together 17 years. By the time I was born, I believe they had already been together by 9 or 10 years at that time. So we're going to fast forward to 1991. My mom and dad do break up. And now I'm only 7.5, going on 8 years old at this time. And that's where the verbal abuse began in my life. Before then, like I said, I was being raised by a preacher and a first lady. And so when I look back as an adult today, I know now that my mom was going through her own troubles, trials, tribulations, being a divorced woman, trying to raise, 4 girls at this time. If I'm 7 or 8, my sister above me is 12, 13. The one above her is 13 or 14. One above her is about 14, maybe 15 or 16. Somewhere we're all around those ages. And so I guess life became hard for my mom. And so in those moments, we were already being disciplined, is what they would call it, prior to my mom and dad being, divorced. We were being disciplined, is what they would call it. Today, we would call that abuse in society. So I was also physically abused, but we're not going to focus on the physical abuse. We're going to more so focus on me being verbally abused. And if you can hear me, you all, please let me know. Hey, Raquel, thank you. I'm not even watching the chat, y'all. I was just talking. I'm doing something on the sidelines. But if you all can actually hear me, is my voice good? Because I do see my phone keep idling. Could you all let me know that I'm good here? And I really greatly appreciate it. And I'm going to continue on with my testimony. So as I was stating, my mom, at this time, she's going through her own trials and tribulations, trying to raise 4 daughters, newly single. And we began to become, she began, I guess, irate, and that's where she would abuse us. Oh, loud and clear. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. I appreciate your golden and vibes. But she began to abuse us, not only physically, as she had already done in the past, but verbally. We became B's, H's. And remember, I'm 7 or 8. My other sister's 12, 13. So she got kids ranging between 8 and 16. All girls. No boys around. Just me, my mom, and my 3 siblings. All girls. And at that time, we've just lost our father. We're also being physically abused. Now we're being verbally abused. We're living in poverty. And each child react differently to to situations. For as myself, um, I think I became numb today. As a 41-year-old woman, I'm emotionalist. And I believe it's because of all the trauma and drama that I went through in my life. But growing up, when I look back today, I realized by my mom spewing those words to me, I began to spew them to my peers, everyone that I came in contact with, male, female, whatever. I had no respect for them because I wasn't being respected at home. Because respect does start at home. Hi, Drill. Welcome to Opinionated News. I'm back. I'm gonna continue, but because I wasn't being respected or loved at home, and I'm not gonna say my mom loved her children the typical way everyone else loved their children in the 80s. And I'm not going to say everyone else, but the stereotypical way. I sheltered you, I fed you, I've clothed you, and I've done my job. So there was basically no emotion in my home. No love, no hugs, no, it was no emotion there. So it numbed me. I began to act out in school. And far as my father leaving, that really did not affect me. When I look back, that did not affect me. Because I was always the child that didn't want mom or dad anyway. Like I was good. I could take care of myself. But what hurt me was the abuse verbally. I'm only 8 years old and I'm being called a B. I don't want to say those, words. H. Not just in the home, but outside the home. Imagine being an 8-year-old little girl on the playground with your friends, 8 or 9. Imagine being on the playground with your friends and your mom sticks her head out the project door. Get your little H-ish behind in the house. Now you got to defend yourself to 8, 10, 11-year-old kids that's outside the next day when you go back out there because they're calling you a H. Now you got to fight in the neighborhood to prove that you ain't an H, but they believe you're H because your mama said you was an H. I'm not even sexually active. I was a tomboy. First of all, I'll take you back there a little bit to my childhood. I was always with the boys because I had all girls in my home. I had all first cousins that were girls. I had 3 older sisters who were girls, so I naturally gravitated to the boys. I like football. I like the basketball. I like to climb the trees. I like to fight. So that was, that was my way. But it was embarrassing being 8 and 9. Like we didn't have social media back then. So to me, I compared the social media outbursts with other parents that do curse their children online to how we got cursed publicly in the grocery stores. Or, I'm not gonna say we because some of y'all did not experience that. Oh, it's okay, y'all. I see the I'm sorry's. I'm not really watching the chat, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all I'm really low key rolling me a little blunt. Don't tell nobody. But I appreciate. I don't want. I'm not telling my story for empathy or sympathy. I'm telling my story for awareness. My name is open for a reason. I'm open about everything. And as I do tell a little bit of my story, I'll tell y'all where I've been and why I haven't been here. But I do appreciate the kind words. Yeah, vibes. Don't be laughing at me. But I'm not looking for sympathy or empathy. I'm just here to bring awareness and see and talk about how I'm trying to change. Because as I continue on with my story, you're gonna hear about how I have also portrayed some of those same traits that I was parented upon, and how I am also trying to correct those mistakes so I don't have that relationship with my daughter that I have with my mom currently. So, like I was saying, because my mom was, divorced, raising 4 daughters. Remember, I'm not sure how many of you all heard my testimony from about 6 months ago when I did tell about being hit by the drunk driver. That was also all around the time when my mom was getting divorced. So from there, I believe I became a burden for my mom. I was hit by a drunk driver. She wasn't able to, living in poverty. You don't have a husband. You don't have nobody there for you. And I believe because I needed so much care, she began to not really care for me. And not saying like food, clothes, shelter. I'm saying she didn't care for me emotionally. And so I was always, basically abused. And by the time I turned 11 ish, 10 or 11, my siblings are now gone. Remember, they're 5, 7, and 9 years older than me. So now my older siblings are gone, but I do have a little brother and a nephew that my mom is raising. And so now, at the tender age where you're in your preteen and you need your parent the most, and you're looking for that, that person to love on you, to push you into how to be a young lady and go into motherhood and everything that you're going to experience later on in life. um, you're basically the person running the household. Your mom has to work, so you're having to take care of your younger brother and your nephew. You're having to cook the meals, be home after school to make sure you can get the kids on time. So you were parenting kids, but also being mistreated when your mom came home and certain things weren't done. And now you're a bitch again. Also, remember, I'm also being physically abused. So, yeah, Raquel, my mom was definitely overwhelmed. I didn't understand it at the time, but me being a 41-year-old woman, looking back, and also, we've had this discussion, but me and my mom are back in a bad place. We'll get there probably sometime later this week, next week. But we're back in a bad place. We sort of are where Peach and her mom is. We'll put it like that. Me and my mom are sort of where Peach and her mom is at right now in life. And so, but like I said, my mom was definitely overwhelmed with life. And now at my tender years of teenage, pushing towards teenage years, I'm having to run a household when things aren't, the way they're supposed to be. When my mom did come home, um, I would get abused. I would get called names. And from there, it made me resentful because I was always smart. So school was my outlet. School was the place where I can go and shine. School was where I can go make all the A's, and I could have the friends and I can just be who I wanted to really be. And so that's my place where, that's also where I feel like they failed me because due to my verbal abuse and physical abuse, I left home at 15 years old. Me leaving home at 15 years old caused me to be homeless. That's what connected me to Marcus's interviews and how I'm able to be here today to tell you all a little bit of my story. Um, but it led me to, give me just one moment, y'all. I gotta mute this 1 second. I do apologize. Got an issue. Okay, I do apologize about that, you all. But due to, like I said, y'all don't be afraid to drop down in the chat for my little 10 people that are here. Like I said, I'm not looking for sympathy, empathy. I'm just, I am a healed person. I've did my work. I still have a little bit more work to do because as we all, is always work to be done. So don't be afraid to converse. Tell how you feel. But I do really just want to keep this basically about me. And so, like I said, when I was 15, I wasn't, due to the abuse at home, I was free to the streets. I put it like that. I'm not gonna say my mom put me out, and I'm gonna not gonna say that I just left. But I feel like the school system failed me. I was a 15-year-old kid in school screaming, "My mom don't care about me. I don't have a home to go to." Not once did anyone call CPS. Not once did anyone, well, I can remember one teacher that did reach out to my mom, but once she did get the information that she got from my mom, she did nothing about it. It didn't go any further. But it led me into me being verbally abused, led me into darkness. Then of course, now I'm in the streets, I'm getting into relationships, which I portrayed that same verbal abuse that I received at home. I portrayed to my partners. Hi, warrior, welcome, welcome. A little behind, but you can catch the early replay. I'm just here to tell a little bit about my verbal abuse going up, and I'm sort of almost in my like teenage to pushing my 20 years. But every relationship that I did encounter, um, whether it was a friendship or a partnership, it led me to be disrespectful. It led me to abuse the people that were around me, which led me to not encountering many friends, not being able to hold on to my partners the way I was supposed to hold on to my partners. It took years of me to overcome. All of that. I'll say I was probably 33 when I overcame all of this trauma. And the way I overcame all of this trauma I got with a guy that wasn't a no nonsense guy, and he was a straightforward guy, a good guy, kind hearted guy. He was able to introduce me to therapy, which of course, we hear about therapy, but he was a guy in our culture that didn't mind, that didn't think therapy was a bad thing. And by him not, thinking therapy was a bad thing, it opened me up to therapy. I was able to get into therapy. I also was able to be truthful with my feelings with my mom, and I was able to let it all go with her. And it put us in a uncomfortable position. We're still, like I say, are in an uncomfortable position. But to those that are parenting young girls, not even just girls, kids, period, young girls, young boys, no matter if whatever your problem, if you're poor, you're rich, if you got stress at work, if your husband cheating on you, whatever you're going through as an adult, not push that off on your child. The children are our future. And so everybody that everybody that we are, all of us, we are products of what our parents have pushed into us. And from what I've seen on YouTube so far, a lot of us, and I'm not gonna say us, the ones here in my chat. Hi Copper, welcome, thank you. Those of you here in my chat, the ones, every person I've seen, I think we have good solid values. But I was taught my values through my life lessons in my streets. Mine wasn't given to me through my parent. But those that are parenting young kids, I would say, first of all, start from the womb. I believe your connection with your child begins within the womb. And the disconnect my mom had with me in her womb, it started there. I was child number 4. 5 years after she already got 3 kids, a husband, they're going through their own trials and tribulations. And now baby 4 is on the way. So I don't believe my mom was ever connected with me in the womb. So from that not being connected to the womb to coming into life, um, she wasn't able to love me properly, love me the way she was supposed to love me. Um, hey Drea, did I speak to you? I don't know. I'm sorry if I did or didn't. Oh, thank you, Drea. Yeah, I have definitely put some work in, girl. Hard work, and I'm still tough. Like, so now that I've told this part, we're gonna lead to me being a mother. So I became a mother at 26. Um, During that time, of course, I didn't find out I was pregnant until I was 6 months pregnant. So me and my baby's connection couldn't start in the womb early, but it started as soon as I found out. Boom, we were connected, and from there, I gave birth to her, of course, and she became a fatherless child when she was around 10 months. And so I vowed that I'm going to do everything in my power to protect this baby, love this baby, do right by this baby. Of course, if you watch my baby's testimony, you'll see that she was born with 2 holes in her heart, had to have open heart surgery. She has her own testimony of her own at 15. It's huge. But we're going to bypass that and we're going to talk about my parenting. So, of course, by me being physically abused, I'm like, oh, I'm never going to hit my child. Oh, I slipped up a few times. And not gonna say one time, 2 times. I did discipline her, but never in an abuse manner. Never for me to leave marks and never for me to hurt her. It was all every time she was disciplined, it was based on something she done. Nothing personal in my life has ever caused me to have to hit my baby. And this is all when she was younger. And I'm not gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4. The times I have laid hands on my baby, she was between the ages of 5 and 8. Now, feel every time I did have to discipline my child, I did go back and correct the problem by acknowledging why I did what I did. We would talk. I would never apologize because I can't apologize because I knew what I was doing, but I would let her know why I did it, not taking away from my love from her. Me and my daughter are close. She's 15. She's my little best friend. One person in the chat that I do talk to all the time can vouch. Whenever we do talk on the phone, she can hear my baby, and me and my baby are good. But one thing I have never done is call my baby a B, a H, anything like that. Um, Now I have cursed at her, and after this situation came about online, which was sending me back into my childhood trauma, which caused me to have a conversation with my daughter, which led me to find out because I have emotional detachment from certain things that I have hurt her feelings before. Not by calling her out of her name, nothing like that, but by the way I say things. So from there, once we had that conversation, of course, I apologized. I acknowledged her, I apologized, and now I am going to correct that issue that she said where I have made her feel, hurt before. Nobody never has been my intentions to hurt my child. I personally know how it feels. It took me 33 years to overcome it. I'm trying to build someone that is positive for society. I'm trying to build a woman that's secure in herself, sure herself, know where she's going, willing to, walk the right way. I'm trying to build. I've never been able to be a wife. Don't even know if I'm going to be able to ever be one, but I'm trying to make sure my daughter's capable to be a wife. I'm trying to make sure she's capable of graduating college and pursuing whatever it is she wants to do in her life. I do thank all of you all for being here. I'm just gonna go back through the chat again. I didn't even see Malika up here earlier. Malika, Vibes Queen, Golden, Raquel, Drea, Warrior. I really appreciate y'all and my few bush watchers. I'm just here to tell my story. For those of you that don't know, I did suffer as a child. I have overcame as an adult verbal abuse. I am not only a victim of verbal abuse, I am also an assailant of verbal abuse. I have abused others verbally. Um, Still to this day, like not being funny, like, and I don't say I do it intentionally, but B is my favorite word. One of my favorite words, like me and my own girls wear, and it's never in disrespect to my friends or anything, but we gonna be it out. Um, when I am angry with road rage or someone in the store, that B word will fly off my tongue flawlessly. Something that I know I need to correct. You understand? Because I am 41. I'm no longer 16 living in trauma. I'm no longer, 27 living as a single mama in new trauma. I am now a 41-year-old adult who knows what knows what's wrong and what's right. And so I'm just here to tell my story, and hopefully it catches up with someone. Is someone out there now that is screaming at their child, other than what we have witnessed today? She's not the only one. Um, I'm not gonna really, like I said, I'm not gonna just really speak on that. Like I said, that me watching that situation almost pushed me back into the childhood trauma that I have overcame. So I needed to express that and get that off my chest. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to get that off my chest. And also, that was my way. I was like, it's Sunday, perfect time. I can come back and do a little Sunday testimonial and come back into the sector a little bit. But as I said, by me being verbally abused as a child, it affected my adult relationships. It never affected my parenting relationship, but I do now know that I have hurt my daughter in the past by certain things I have said to her. And she was very clear. One thing about my daughter, I teach her, I give her a voice where I wasn't able to have a voice as a child. I was always silenced, even though I had a voice. And I'm not going to say I was silenced. They tried to silence me. I was that kid that would continue to talk even when they told you to shut up. And even after they done pop you in your mouth, I'm still talking. Might be crying while I'm talking, but I'm still talking that trash because I always knew, like always, I've been aware and smart my whole life. Like I'm always up on the up. I know the real deal. So I always knew it was certain things that my mom would do that wasn't correct, and I would stand up on it. Where my older sisters wouldn't. So she wasn't expecting that from me. But like I said, that connection didn't start in the womb the way the connection started with my first three sisters in her womb. So today, it has me and my mom in a rocky spot. And so I'm gonna actually speak on it a little bit. Maybe one day last week, me and my mom, we held a good 3, 4, 5 hour conversation. And I'm not really reading the chat. Y'all are saying anything. I do appreciate. I'm checking in a second. I don't see it moving that fast. I'm really just talking and doing me. And I do appreciate those that are dropping out in the chat. I do appreciate each and every one of you. But we're gonna fast forward to the way I'm still being emotionally abused by my mom today. So me and my mom held a 3, 4 hour conversation the other day. We talked, everything was fine. But during that conversation, my mom said that she was gonna write a book about her parents, that which she's been telling me this my whole life. My mom been writing these books since I was a kid. So I was like, oh, I am too, And she's like, oh, what you writing a book about my parents? So I'm like, I'm not. I'm writing a book about my parents, which is my mom and my dad. Well, I'm really writing a book about my life. And this is true story. I really am. I started writing it 12, 13 years ago, never finished it. So I'm going to I've been putting action to it. So we're gonna fast forward. So me and my mom were talking about that. So in that moment, my mom is the type of person. She is a baby boomer. If you all don't know, hi Gemini. I see a couple of people. I'm gonna go back and read the chat, but if I see a new little hand or something, I'm gonna speak. Welcome, welcome. I thank you. But my mom is a baby boomer, and if y'all don't know, the baby boomers were raised by the silent generation, which the silent, generation kept everything on the hush hush, which caused our parents to keep everything on the hush hush. Which means when I say keep it on the hush hush, what goes on in my house stays in my house, that type of thing. So still to that this day, I think my mom will be 70 this month coming up in April. She still carries that what goes on in my house stays in my house. So when she did say that she was writing a book about her parents, I said, "Hey, I'm writing a book about my parents." I'm gonna read. I'm gonna stop 1 second and read the chat a little bit because I see Warrior had a question before I start rambling on. Did anybody else have a question up here? Thank you, Vibes Queen, that you said I'm doing a great job telling my story. Thank you, Raquel. I don't mind sharing. I'm very open. I'm mad that I couldn't be on camera, y'all. Y'all should see how I look. If I have a camera slip, y'all, ooh, they gonna put this out and it's gonna be a hot mess. But guess what? I'm gonna own it. But anyway, so I couldn't be on camera. But let's read what Warrior had asked me. How was your mom raised by her mother? And that's the thing. My mom is the oldest of 8 children. And during this conversation that I was just telling you about, me and my mom went and relooked at her birth certificate to make sure that her mom was the age we thought her mom was when she had her, which was correct. Her mom was 19 when she had her. My grandfather, I believe, was 23 when she was born, or 22, something like that. They're a few years apart. But her and her sister that came 1 year after her were raised by their grandparents, and I believe it was their maternal grandparents for about 6 years. My mom said 5 or 6 years before their parents came and really got them. So my mom was always and my they continued to have kids. Like I said, they had 8 kids. So my mom was more so like the mom for her siblings because she was the oldest. And so I do understand, like I said, I understand why my mom was angry today. During those times, of course, I did not. But as an adult, I can, process things and I can look at things through all lenses. I do see why my mom was upset. Oh yeah, I'm definitely venting vibes. Hey, friend, don't be laughing at me, Zane. Yes, I think I seen you text me, but I couldn't text back. Hey, friend, thank you for coming in and just listening to my Sunday testimonial, which you probably done heard a little bit. But at the end of the day, that's why I can't look at the chat. I get distracted. Okay, I'm not gonna look at the chat, y'all. So I'm just gonna continue to tell my story. Let me see where I was. Let me go back 2 seconds. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to get back on track. But like I was saying, how I can look at things through all lenses and how my mom was raised by her. She had to raise all her siblings, basically. So by her having to raise all her siblings, so she's been raising kids since she was a kid. Um, Her parenting, her mothering, and her grandparenting overlapped because when she was 38, she had a baby, but my 15-year-old sister also had a baby, 5 months apart. So my mom, all her life, um, still to this day, she's still parenting because I have my little brother. He's 32, and he's still a kid himself. Y'all know about the boys. He's the only boy, so he's still a kid. So my mom is still parenting at 70 years old, as well as trying to be a grandmother, great grandmother, and at any moment, some of her great grands are old enough to be having some children soon. So, but I'm gonna take you back. Like I said, with me and my mom was having a conversation about the book, and somehow she became defensive when I said I was writing a book about basically my life. When she said she was writing a book about her mom and dad, I was like, "Well, I am too." And I was just saying I am too, based on I'm writing a book about my life, so they're definitely included because you're my parents. That's why I do have life, and that's why my dash is important because y'all gave me the air to breathe. So immediately became defensive, and then just out of nowhere was asking me, so are you gonna tell this about your dad? Are you gonna tell this about your dad? Now meanwhile my dad died 3-4 years ago or something. And I'm like, hold up, mama, you don't even know what my book about. You don't know if it's gonna a positive book, a negative book. She's just going off the hinges. And so then next thing spew from her mouth is like, if you put me in that book, I'm gonna sue you. So I immediately became defensive. Okay, mama, if you're gonna sue me, I'm gonna counter sue you, because I do have a reason that I could counter sue my mom, which I'm not gonna tell that reason on live or anything or publicly, but it is a reason, and it's a legit reason. So when I gave her my legit reason why I would counter sue her, she then began to oh my, I was just kidding, I was just kidding. No, you were not just kidding. You were very serious. And so that's a way, like, she was basically abusing me, not calling me out of my name, but she tried to manipulate me. Hey, don't you put me in this book. Hey, don't you write about me. If you write about me, you better write about your daddy. If she continue, even in my 41-year-old age, in her big 70-year-old age, she is still trying to manipulate me in ways that she did through childhood. Yeah, Raquel. Yeah, it's vibes about writing a book. But that's because that generation likes to keep what happened in their house. It can't be told. So if of course if I write a book and I start back at my childhood, is going to tell things that happened around her life, and she don't want to be exposed. So she basically telling me that I need her permission. And so we sort of got into it, because I was like, did you, because she's been writing these books, like I said, since the 80s and 90s. And my grandparents didn't die until the 2000s, and my granddad actually died in 2020. So I'm like, did you have my grandparents permission to write the books? And she's like, no. So I'm like, I don't need your permission. It's like, yes you do. And then like she's gonna sue me. So that's why I was saying it sort of compares to like Peach and her mom a little bit about how, they be trying to sue each other and stuff. But like, I would definitely counter sue my mom. If you sue me about a book that I write, if it goes anywhere or anybody see it and you get upset about it, um, I would definitely counter sue. And I don't care how anyone feels about that, or anything, because and like that's why I'm gonna go back to Peach a little bit. I am a support. I'm a peach. I'm a peach patcher. I am a supporter of Peach. I don't care what Peach do, y'all. Like, hate me, love me, whatever. Talk trash about me. I don't care what Peach do. Peach can't do no wrong in my eyes. We have we have similar stories. So to me, I really, really relate to Peach. I believe everything Peach says that her mom done to her. I believe, because the same way the things that my mom has done to me, when myself and my siblings bring these things up, she never acknowledges. She don't believe she did it. She got to call one of us, the other one that didn't say it, to confirm that she did it, and she tried to go around it. She tried to make excuses on why she did it, and I see that same similarity in Peach and her mom. So it makes me believe Peach. So I am a Peach patron. She can do no wrong. I think she's very intelligent. That's another thing I see in Peach that I in myself. I'm very intelligent. I don't know if y'all know yet, but y'all will see soon. If you don't know, now you know. And I just see a lot of similarities. So I really relate to Peach, and I wish her 9 babies. And if they talk about she might be pregnant again, if she is, that's her business. Wish that one the best too. Her husband, whatever they do, I wish them all the best. I am a Peach supporter, so y'all can hate me, but it'll be okay. But we're gonna jump back to me. So, like I said, so right now I haven't talked to my mom in a week, which I feel bad about, because me and my mom has always had this, on and off relationship. But when she was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, in May of 2023, I vowed to be a better daughter. I vowed to, you know, try to call more, which I really don't do as often. But I try to, and I have done that. I have stood by it until last week when my mom brought that up. So, of course, I conversed with one of my sisters about it, And she, you know, and this is my sister that never has an opinion, never takes anyone's side, and so she's the only one I really converse with it about. So I'm not even sure I did the right thing, or if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll admit that I'm wrong. But I personally don't believe I am wrong in this situation. I think I have the right to tell my story, whether I voice it. So that's why I decided. Also, another reason I decided to come out and tell my story, because when we was in Vibes Queen live the other night, y'all, I was really, really tempted to pick up the phone, y'all, call my mama, say the B word, and hang up real fast. But God, I ain't do it, y'all. You know, I can see my mama now calling all my sisters saying how disrespectful I am. So that was nothing but God. God told me not to do it. I appreciate it. But at this moment, like at 41, and my mom is almost 70, and she was diagnosed with this, you know, lung cancer, which she's overcame. um that's another testimony that I want to tell, but she also told me that she gonna sue me if I if I tell her testimony about her cancer. But I'm gonna talk about it a little bit, since she won't let me tell it the way I want to tell it. I'm gonna talk about it here. So yes, I thank you, Vibes. I thought I had the right to tell my story because it's my story. But and sometimes your story just happens to include some people around you, family members, friends, ex-friends, lovers, that you can't help but introduce into your story because they were part of your life at that time. And my mom had just happened to have been a part of my life for 41 years. But like I was saying, you know, with her aging and me aging as well, I would like to have a better relationship with my mom. We already have distance upon us. She lives in Georgia, I live in Michigan. So basically all we do have, unless I take a flight, because my mom, of course, isn't going anywhere. She's not leaving Georgia in her old age like that. She's not a traveler. So the only time we do get to be together is if I do make it home. So I do want a better relationship, but I don't know how to get there. And I'm not stuck in my trauma anymore. But my mom is. And by her still being stuck in her trauma, it pours on to myself and my siblings. And I spoke to one of my siblings today, and I'm gonna speak on her story as well. She gave me the okay about how the verbal abuse affected her life. Now, this is my sibling that is 7 years older than me. It's one between us and one older than her. But of course, when my mom and dad were together, she was the sibling that got the most physical abuse. The broomsticks, the extension cords, the, you know, the good down slavery beat down. She got the most of those. Because she was the most sure of herself. That's how I would look at it. You know, I was the baby at that time. I was the youngest of the four, so I was basically overlooked. Where, because I at that time I had a voice, I was sure of myself, but they didn't pay attention to me. I was the small one. So, but she was a bigger me, and she was sure of herself, and she was the one that would go to school and defend herself. She was the one that would try to defend herself against my mom. So she got the bulk of it. Also, of course, the B's and the H's came along once my dad left. And during this time, she's already 14, you know, 13, 14. So she's getting it. Um, she also is the one that got pregnant when she was 15. She wasn't fast. She got pregnant her first time having sex. Just so happened, I happened to be in the hospital being hit by the car. My mom's in the hospital with me for a couple of months. She had to leave her teenage daughters at home with her 20-year-old sister as the person to keep them. So my sister snuck off and did it the one time, got pregnant. And, you know, of course, hid it for a while. We didn't know she was pregnant till she was 8 months. So, of course, that led to more abuse, not physically, but more verbally, which led my sister down a road of drugs, addiction to alcohol. Still to this day, we're fighting to keep my sister alive right now. She's been in and out the hospitals. She has severe cirrhosis of the liver, as most know. I'm not sure if everybody knows, but the liver is the only organ that will replenish itself if if taken care of. Well, my sister's liver is not able to be replenished. She's been basically she's 48 now, I believe. Um, she's probably been drinking maybe 30 good years for sure, as an alcoholic style drinking, not just socially. So at 48 years old, my sister's fighting for her life, but we're proud because she's 7 months sober. Um, she's getting ready to be able to be on the list to have a liver transplant. Um, we're hopeful someone will give my sister a liver, but by all the abuse that my sister endured caused her a lifehood of addiction. Caused her not to be able to parent her own children. Yeah, thank you all for the prayers and everything. I'm gonna read it in 1 second. I see a couple of things. I'm gonna try to get through this piece about my sister, and then I'm gonna jump into the chat. But let her that where she wasn't able to parent her children correctly, and now all her kids are grown. I want to say her oldest maybe 32, and her baby maybe 22, if I'm not mistaken, or 23. He may be 23 now, but somewhere in that age range. So they're all adults now, but now they're living with trauma because they weren't parented by their mom. So I'm here to break that cycle for that generation of my people. I had took in a couple of my sister kids along the years. I'm making sure like I say, I raised mine. I have a great relationship with mine. I am not perfect. I have cursed mine. I have beat mine, but never for detriment, never at the hands of something I went through. My baby was bad, y'all. And she still is. My baby real bad now, but she 15. We ain't gotta lay hands. All we gotta do is communicate. And we do that effectively. Well, sometimes effectively. Y'all know how teenagers is. They like to pop off out the mouth, but I allow my baby to have a voice because we come from that generation that was raised by the silent generation where you better shut up. You can't say anything. You can't have a voice. And so I allow my child to have a voice. Now I don't allow disrespect from my child in her voice, but I allow her to, if she thinks I'm wrong, to effectively tell me why I am wrong. If she, has a problem with anything, we have an open line of communication. I'm telling you, my YouTube name fits me perfectly. But I thank you all for tuning in. I'm gonna read what Warrior said. In the grand scheme of things, the little things isn't going to matter. If anything was to happen to your mom, you have genuinely forgave her. You have to genuinely forgive her and had to forgive my dad for his verbal abuse. Let me tell you about that, Warrior. That's where I'm not sure how I would react if something did happen with my mom because my dad never verbally abused me, never physically abused me. My dad was actually a good dad to me. Now, there was slight abandonment from my dad, and I'm just gonna say slight, based on even when him and my mom broke up when they were 7, he would still come on weekends and take me. And those that wanted to go, it was only 2 or 3 of us that would go out of the 4. Sometimes one don't want to go, but I was the one that I always would go. My dad raised me. I lived with him and his ex-wife. I lived with them for about a year almost. I would go a summer, go stay summers with my dad. So, but I would say slight abandonment because it was a few times where he was supposed to show up where he did. But overall, I still had a great relationship with my dad. And then he began to become an alcoholic, drink his life away, and when he passed in 2022, I don't believe I had seen him since maybe 2016, but we hadn't had a relationship maybe since 2008 because I cut off the relationship, not because my dad did. I'm big on boundaries. So if you're not gonna if it's not good for me, I don't need to be around it. Family, friend, it doesn't matter. Only thing besides my kid, everything is disposable to me. Parent, sister, sibling, friend. If you're doing bad by me, partner, I don't have to have you in my life. Besides, only thing that can do whatever they want to me is my kid. And I ain't gonna say whatever they want, but it's open forgiveness with my baby forever. But everybody else, they can be disposed. So at the end of the day, when my dad died, I still have not cried yet. It's been 3 years and a couple of months. I didn't go to the funeral physically. My sister had me because his funeral was like a Facebook type of thing, but my sister still FaceTimed me on her phone, and so I was there with her, but they would get mad at me because I was joking. I was smoking my blunts and stuff, and they weren't emotional as they should have been either. But I'm not sure how I would feel if something happened to my mom, because if my dad didn't do anything to me, really, and I didn't cry and shed a tear, decided it was best for me not to use my money to go to the funeral. I don't know how I would react if something happened to my mom. Am I gonna cry? Am I gonna show up? I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say no, but I do love my mom. I know my mom loves me. It's just a toxic love. So let me check the chat out a little bit. Okay, I got Warrior. Warrior said my dad ruined my self esteem by talking about my weight growing up until adulthood, but he finally said sorry on one Father's Day. I never heard him say sorry until I stayed away for a while. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Warrior. And yeah, sometimes that's all we want to hear, y'all, is the apology. At least you got the sorry. Now I can say lately I have been getting the sorries from my mom, because the incident where when she said she was gonna sue me, you all, um, and then I said I was gonna countersue for my reason. She began to say she was kidding, and then she began to apologize, but she also made excuses while she was apologizing. But those excuses was irrelevant because they weren't even lining up with the time that the incident happened. So once again, like, I can't accept your apology if you're deflecting and making excuses. But I am sorry that happened to you, Warrior. And Vibe Twin, you so sweet. Let's see. Warrior, I saw him on Father's Day and he cried and said sorry. He developed dementia and passed away last year. I'm sorry to hear that, Warrior. My you know, my condolences. Like I said, my father's situation was not as tough for me. And that's because I said, like, I think I'm numb and emotionalist to a lot. But watching others who lose not just their fathers, their mothers as well, I think I've cried more for others than I have for my own self and my own things. Like, I actually shed a tear for Marcus's dad, but I have not yet shed a tear for my own. And I didn't know Marcus' dad. I don't even know Marcus. I watched the video, it touched my heart, shed a tear, and I wasn't even able to do that by watching my own dad's funeral. Like, so I don't know. And my dad did nothing to me. My dad was a good dad to me. You know what I'm saying? My dad never laid hands on me. My dad never, cursed me, called me out my name. I don't even think I ever heard my dad say a cuss word until I was like 18 or 19 years old. So I grew up. Now, I'm gonna continue to read the chat a little bit. Let's see. Hi, Michelle J. Welcome. My mother was exactly like, only with limbs. I apologize. Mine was bad. Yeah, I'm not gonna say exact because my mom was never alcoholic. Like, life was just hitting my mom. My mom was not a drug user. My mom was not an alcoholic. Because I did have to hit her with some stones, right? Because once I did get hit by that car when I was 8 years old, from there, of course, she was, like I said, she was newly divorced. Now she got to work more than she had to before. And now she also got to get an outlet. She got to find her a new man. Remember, she's newly single. She got to find some friends because we had to move from a new town. So I had to let her know, once I got hit by that car at 8 years old, I lost my mom from there, because she wasn't able to be there for me. My sisters was with me, they were 15, 16, they taking care of me while she at work. I'm at school. My mom normally worked that graveyard shift, so it was like a crossing paths. And then I was on my own at 15. The times that I did see you, you were only abusing me. So we didn't have a relationship from there. But for all of us, that has went through this abuse, for those that have not been able to overcome that trauma, I pray that you can one day. um I'm still working through mine is not all the way there, because like I said, I don't even know how to process. Like I said, if something happened to my mom, how would I react? But I am always open for open dialogue with my mom. What I'm not open for is excuses, bull crap, like, I'm gonna own up. If I did something, you all, 100% sure, I'm not even gonna say 99.9, 100% sure I'm taking accountability, whether it was right, whether it was wrong. whether I hurt your feelings or I made you smile. If I did it, I'm taking 100% accountability. Um, I just can't get my mom to do that, and it's okay because I've realized that's just who she is. Um, and I love her, but I like that. Sometimes you just have to love people from a distance. I used to be fine with that, but I don't think I'm okay with that anymore at my big age and her big age. Because I don't want to carry that guilt if something does happen. So I do want that relationship to be stronger, to be better. Because like the sister that's above me, she has that strong relationship with all of us, but she's talking to my mom every day. They like best friends. So I'm not asking to be my mom's best friend. What I am asking is to have a better relationship. And I don't know how to go forward with that. But I do know in this situation, I have to be the bigger person because we're born to live and we live to die. Meaning we're a baby. We grow up, we learn life, but then in our older form, we baby again. So I'm gonna look at myself as the elder in this situation, even though my mom's age is older my mindset is stronger. So I have to be the bigger person in this situation, but I have to process on how I have to go about it, and I have to be delicate with my mom because she is sensitive and she doesn't like to hear me say that, but it's facts. Welcome, Copper. Did I speak to you earlier, y'all? Y'all know I be smoking my little bud, y'all. Hold on. Let me check the chat and see what's going on. I did talk about I got Warrior. And I'm like, I got Michelle. I'm happy you're here, Michelle. Never really seen your name around before, so I was happy to see. Um, I still got it up there on the thing. I was happy to see that you were excited about this live. I was sort of nervous, y'all, because I ain't been live in a long time, and like I said, I'm more nervous behind this camera than I am when I am on camera. And y'all will see me sometime this week on camera. But thank you, Copper. Welcome. And here go Warrior said, I cried when I saw Marcus cry. Yes, I like I'm human like that. I'm emotional. When I see somebody cry, I'm most likely gonna cry. I'm a punk. Like even though I'm strong and I will stand up and I will fight, I'm an empath to others. I can't help it. I'm a weakness. But I forgave my dad when he said sorry. That was great and big for you. He thought he wasn't going to see me again, but it was Father's Day, and I told him, of course, I was coming to see him. His sorry meant a lot. Oh, that was awesome. Like everybody don't get to have that piece, that closure. So you were able to get closure, Warrior, and I'm happy that you were able to get that. I'm not sure if I got closure with my dad. And I'm gonna tell y'all, since we're just talking at this point, I told y'all about my little bit of trauma. Y'all know I'm real open, so I'm gonna tell y'all about the last time I physically saw my dad. And I'm gonna after I read Copper's comment. My mom was not a woman who showed affection at all. That was the main issue with her. I learned to hug more when I got pregnant, knowing my daughter will be a cancer. Oh yeah, cancers are emotional. My dad was a cancer. Like I said, me and my dad never had an issue. He loved me. We was good. Me and my dad was good. My mom is a Taurus, y'all. Anybody want to know what sign my mom is? She's a Taurus, and of course I'm a Virgo. So bullhead versus Miss Know It All. Imagine how that works for us. Um, make sure I'm caught up in the chat. Oh, thank you, vibes. Let's see. Warrior said my dad was my first bully, but I'm glad I got past that. And you know what? My first bully, I don't know if my first bully was my mom or my siblings, but my siblings definitely overwrit that wrong when I was still a kid. When I was like 13 and 14, my sisters came. They sort of protected me. Like so when I did get out there at 15 and I needed somewhere to go, I had a sister that I could call on, a sister I can show up to. So they definitely were my probably my first bully before my mom was. But it caused me to be a bully. Small as I was, when I look back, I have been a bully on my jobs. Let's go back to school. I was a bully on the playground with my in third grade, telling people, "No, you can't do this, you can't do that." No, I'm the president of the crew or the club. Y'all know how you create clubs as children. Like I was a bully then. But I also was the person when somebody else got bullied. I would stand up for that person. So now it's me against the other bully. Like it was weird. It's like I was a Robin Hood. Like I'm a bully you, but when they bully you, I'm the only person that could bully you. Like I'm robbing from the rich, giving to the poor. It was crazy. But like that trauma, it was all because of the way I was being treated at home. I didn't realize it. And my teacher, I never forget, like in 8th grade, I was acting out in school, but I was making all A's. And so my teacher didn't understand what was going on. So she did call my mom, and my mom did, like, one thing about my mom, she would believe others before she believed us. So when the teachers would call on us, that was her. Oh, she was ready to go. That's the first thing for her to do is run up to the school to find out what really happened. So I guess the teacher called my mom, and I did get to school that day, and my mom was sitting in my chair, and you know, and I was a little timid at first, but at the end of the day, I still had to be who I was. Like, even though I knew when I got home I was probably gonna have some repercussions, it didn't matter to me because you came in my territory. Like, school was my happy place. You're not gonna come in here and bully me in school. I don't care what the teacher told you to do. Like, it was weird. But I'm gonna go back to the chat. Let's see. Copper said, hold on, it moved. I learned to love my mom regardless of her ways because she still showed up for us always. She lost her mom as a child, so I'm sure that affected her a lot. She doesn't express much. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your grandmother, your mom's situation. And I'm glad, your mom have a great relationship because some people don't have those. Like I said, luckily, my mom does have 5 children. So she does have a few good relationships amongst her children. I just happen not to be one of them. And my sister, the one that I was speaking on with the alcoholism, she happened to not have that best relationship either. But hers is better than mine. I can definitely tell you that hers is definitely better than mine. And Worry said my mom and dad were Capricorn. I'm a Virgo, and my two oldest. Oh, girl. Them Capricorns, no offense, because I love them. Hey, Platinum, shout out to Platinum. Um, though they're emotional, and I guess because I am not emotional, so you probably grew up with a lot of love, from your mom though, as a mom Capricorn. But them sisters was probably bullying you. I don't get along with Tauruses myself. This is what Copper said, y'all. I don't get along with Tauruses myself. My dad was my nurturer, so I'm grateful for that. That's great. My mom is a Capricorn. Ooh, Capricorn and a Scorpio. That might be a good little relationship, though. Michelle said, "Thank you. I'll be around. I'm just really touched about this topic and what we have recently witnessed." Yes, like Michelle. I don't know if it's Michelle or Michelle. I think it's Michelle. I'm gonna call you Michelle because I think that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. But I'm telling you, like, me watching that. And at first, like the first time when I tried to watch it, when it first went down initially on my own, I had to turn it off. It wasn't until I watched a few other people lives and they played it back or whatever that I was able to really watch it. And then I watched it a few more times, broke my spirit, broke my heart. Almost sent me back, like I said, into childhood trauma. So I had to I think I talked to I talked to my sister about it, the one I'm real close to. We talked pretty much immediately after it happened, but she's the one that never gives me an opinion. Like, at least y'all gonna tell me, y'all communicate. My sister ain't gonna really say nothing. She's just gonna let me vent, and she's not gonna say, "Well, mom was wrong" or "you was wrong." She just let you vent, and I love that about her. That, like, I love it. But at that moment, I need to have to tell me that I was right. God damn it! Excuse my French. I've been trying not to curse y'all. But I appreciate y'all for coming in. I'm gotta finish reading Michelle A's comment first. I'm really touched about this topic. Growing up, my mother was an alcoholic, extremely abusive, verbally, emotionally, and physically. Whew, that I know that was tough. Because I was abused verbally, physically, and emotionally. But my mom was not an alcoholic, so I don't know what is worse. Because that means my mom was in her sane mind doing what she was doing. It's like, at least your mom sort of had an excuse, but it's not even an excuse, because when you're parenting children, you have to do right, you have to do better, and that's why I chose not to drink as a parent. Not because I didn't grow up in alcoholism, but I like my dad became an alcoholic once I became almost an adult. I've seen my sister be an alcoholic. I used to drink when I was younger now, like when I was 16, 17, before I was even legal. That's when I really was drinking, before I was able to drink. So I continued, but when I got pregnant with my daughter, from there, I was like, no, I'm not. I can probably count the amount of drinks I really had, y'all, like in that time frame, or the times I went out and had drinks. Let me put it like that. Not say how many drinks exactly. I never really liked to drink at home alone because to me that's depressing. So the times that y'all did see me with them little nasty seltzers, I was just doing that for my block parties that we're gonna be getting back to soon. Maybe this weekend, and I might switch the days to Fridays, not sure, because I still want to be over there at Vibes Queen in the sandcastle with where Raquel be throwing sand in my hair and Chris be making me have it all in my eyes. I still want to be over there on Saturdays, and I don't want them to collide, and my eyes are going to be a little different this time anyway. So but we'll be getting back to that later. Let's stay on topic. Okay, so I read Michelle A's comment. Let's see, y'all just talking to each other. Michelle A said she battled with demons, and when she was a drunk, demonic spirits literally took over. Even though I was a child, she inflicted her rage, hate, and bitterness towards me. I hated my mother for a very long time, and I can empathize, and I can definitely relate. Not just empathize, I can definitely relate. And I'm not even gonna say I hated my mom. I just was in. I've always been in the space where I don't have to be around my mom. Like even when my mom called me before we got into it that day, she was like, "Hey, you can call your mama." And I'm like, "Yeah, I just be busy. I be forgetting, but it's not personal for real. I really don't call anybody. If my phone don't ring, I just don't talk to nobody unless I'm calling out for a business deal or a bill collector or got to do something like that. I'm not dialing nobody. Just to pay some bills, and that's it. So if my phone, any incoming calls, 99% of the time I'm answering unless I just happen to be busy. But I'm not sure what type of relationship I want with my mom today. Besides, I know I don't want her to pass or me to pass. Like I told her, because when I was telling her I was going to write a book, she's like, "Oh, I won't be here to even read the book. I ain't gonna be here." My mom been passing away since I was 10, y'all, and she said, of course, she's still here. But like I told her, I was like, I said, you'll probably been buried 3 children, and you'll still be here. And I got a little disrespectful because in my mind, I feel like the evil live long, y'all. So I'm just gonna put that right there. The evil live long. But did I finish reading? I didn't finish reading your comment, Michelle A. Did I? Even though I was a child, yeah, I read that. Miss Open could be coloring or drawing. I'm still going to be there from. Yes, I'm telling you, I'm gonna always be here for my baby. Even like tough times, rough times. My baby probably she can do wrong. I'm gonna defend her, in the streets, and then at home I'm gonna get in her behind. But I'm that parent. Y'all don't know how many times I done went to the school knowing my kid and did exactly what they said she did to defend my kid respectfully. I'm not one of them. Even though I'm a ghetto parent, I'm a ghetto lady. I don't exude that for my daughter and her. Whether we're going to a party for a friend and we're going to the schoolhouse, or I'm country too. Y'all said I said the schoolhouse, but rather if we're doing something for her, I definitely uphold my intelligence. I carry myself like a lady, and I'm in there. But for me to be exactly who I am and feel free, yeah, I'm just a little ghetto ratchet lady. But I'm okay with that. Like I know that. But for my daughter, I ain't gonna say I fake it a little bit, but uphold myself the way I know I should. Cause your environment is everything to you. Y'all got my little chat rolling a little bit. I feel special. Let me see what I done missed. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, I read that. Read that. Oh, here we go. My mom was my best friend, and we always were close. My sisters were a lot older, like 10 and 11 years older. I was the baby, so I was spoiled. And see, Warrior, for me, I was the baby for 10 years till my brother came, right? And by the time he came, I think my oldest sister was like 19. So growing up, my sisters would always say, "Oh, you're spoiled, you're spoiled." And
I'm trying to figure out how am I spoiled. My mom never defended me. I never was that kid that ran and cried and told her anything. I never got anything more than they got. I don't know how they associated me being spoiled to just me being the youngest child. It was weird. It's weird to me. Now that's something me and my mom can agree on. Um, I've never been spoiled. I've always been independent. I've always been that kid that wanted to fly free. I don't like being told what to do. I just never really had that spoiledness in me. Now let's see. Raquel, I'm glad you're still here, Rock. Thank you for sticking around. If you are, I see how my little numbers keep going in and out, up and down. Michelle said, when the Lord came into my life and my life changed, the Lord healed me, the hurt and the pain. Then my, hold on, my something turned to empathy. Oh, my hate. Then my hate turned to empathy and concern for my mother. I became, I came to realize that I had to be a sick lady too. Like, um, God has came in and out of my life over the years, and I'm not going to say He has came in and out. I have allowed God in and out of my life over the years. Like I said, I grew up in church. I strayed away from the church. I went back to church. I strayed away again. I went back. I went back. I'm at this place right now where I'm in between. I have one foot in and one foot out. But um, one thing I do know is that me and God does have a relationship. And I see you fixed the mistake, Michelle. I'm a little behind. Time and place, vibes queen. It wasn't me. I appreciate y'all for just sticking around listening to my little story. I'm not gonna keep us too much longer. Probably gonna get off in a couple of more minutes. So I'm gonna tell y'all about opinionated news station. I'm probably won't be uploading videos the way I was uploading videos. I'll more so be coming live. And won't be live like this. I'll probably be more so, on the camera type of live. I'm still trying to set up this area in my house, but I got a good little thing going on with that. So I'm gonna be giving live news. It's gonna be different segments. I have a segment called Odd, which is Open Discussion Detroit. Of course, I'm gonna have my Money Mondays where I'm gonna talk about credit and how we can be better as a people and financially. So I got different little segments coming back. Just want to give a little twist to it. I'm gonna start back trying to upload some shorts and stuff so I can get in the algorithm. So when we do have our discussions, we can have more people there. We are gonna grow my channel. So where I have been for these last 3-4 months, y'all, life was eating me alive. When I say, but this always happens to me. Every 5 years, my life takes this full circle where it's going great and everything is fine. Like the stars, the skies, everything, you can reach them. And then out of nowhere, you're down there in the dirt, in the dust. It happens every 5 years. This happened to be my 5 year cycle where it happened again. And I finally dug myself back out of that cycle and I'm fixing myself. So I didn't want to be online, being a damper. I wasn't in a good spirit, good place. I just wasn't ready to be open about anything I was experiencing and going through during those times. A few people know that I have been talking to behind the scenes, sort of know what I was going through, and I appreciate them for not coming out telling my business. I know they my little ride or die for YouTube. I appreciate it, but at the end of the day, I'm back. I'm not gonna say better than ever, but I'm gonna be better, and we're gonna make opinionated news a real news station, and we're gonna thrive. If you all enjoyed my little testimony. We can continue to elaborate. I'm probably going to go live tomorrow. I just want to get back in the algorithm, so I'm probably going to go live tomorrow night with the random topic. We'll talk about it. Probably won't be on camera because I got a couple. I got to do my hair, y'all. That's the problem. Y'all should see my hair. And they was already talking about I need a perm and stuff, and I'm not perming my hair, but I got to do my hair so I can come back on camera. That's my only issue. Ain't nobody studying my teeth, none of that. I'm gonna be up here for y'all. I'm coming back. Really not gonna be talking about sector stuff like that. You know, because that's what my channel is. That's why it's called Open. You understand? It's about me. Now I said I am gonna throw some news in there, celebrity news, my Detroit news, and y'all know Detroit got some stories out here. I don't want to pick up some of the stories that I already see been going and going, but I'm quite sure something just happened right now. We'll have a new story tomorrow. So I'm gonna pick up some of those stories. We're gonna be here to talk about it. Let me see what's going on with this chat here. Oh, y'all got my little chat moved a little bit. Okay, treat her child so bad. So now I love my mother and I am praying that she gets healed from whatever her trauma was to make her that way. And that's what I thought I would have been helping my mom overcome some of that these last couple of years. We have been having a lot of conversations about her childhood, not so much so mine, but growing up, we never knew my mom's story. We only started getting bits and pieces of her story like the last few 5, 10 years or so. It's a lot of secrets to my mom's story. So I don't know why she think I can tell her story when there's some secrets and lies in there that I can't even tell that part, lady. But at the end of the day, y'all pray for me and my mom's relationship. I'm not angry. I'm not, I am healed, but I do know that verbal abuse is not okay in any form, whether it's with a child or an adult. We have to, as big grown, most of us on this app we big in age, y'all. Most of the people in our sector, we're 40 plus. It's a few little younger ones running around, but we got to hold ourselves accountable. We have to do better by our children. We have to do better by our people, the ones we love. Because all this time while I've been gone, I've seen so many fallouts, breakups, makeups, so much stuff going on. Don't want to speak about it because it ain't none of my business. Really don't care about it. At the end of the day, I care about the children because they are our future. And if we don't breathe life into them instead of sucking the life out of them, our lives as elders are going to be a piece of shit. And put it like that. That's I ain't trying to say too many cuss words, y'all. I'm trying to keep it legit. But I'm going to read the chat on out. And then I'm going to probably play my outro. And we're going to get up out of here tonight. Let's see. Okay, I got Michelle A. I got Copper. Got Warrior. Let's see. No, the way you raise your okay. The way you Warrior said the way you raise your kids will have an immense effect on on them for the rest of their life. I thought my wait, I never thought any man was good enough to me to have kids with because it's serious to me. I didn't know you didn't have children, Warrior. It's very serious. That's why I only have one. And I really didn't choose to have my child. Like I always let her know, she wasn't planned, but she was a purpose. So at the end of the day, due to that reason, yeah, I'm blessed to only have that one. I didn't want to make the same mistake twice. I never really ever wanted to be a parent because I was afraid of how I was parented that I would exude those same behaviors, which I have in the past in certain ways. It was never a consistent thing, but never with the calling my baby outside her name. Never, ever, 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 ever. Now I have been that parent that then cussed her down. Get you if you don't sit your Emma Effa behind down. I'ma do XYZ. But I would never do what I said I was gonna do. I was just threatening and talking some trash. But I am that parent that have talked some trash. I have disciplined my child when it was appropriate, and it was always at the hands of some stuff she done. When I say my baby done stole, y'all, my baby, like this when she was younger too. My baby used to do some stuff. She used to go to school and just file for at kids. My baby would do some stuff, so we had to get in line. But now, to be honest, my baby has the sweetest heart. She's an empath. She loves animals. She loves babies. I can't say something about white or black or African. I can't say no race or I could be saying something good about a race. She gonna accuse me of being a racist, y'all. Like she don't play about none of that. She don't play about her like she loved the rainbow, LGBTQ, all that, and I allow her to be exactly who she is, and she loves everything about everybody. Where and I think I can't believe that I even produced a baby that is as genuine, sweet, and loving as she is, y'all. And as open as I am, I'm gonna continue to introduce y'all to my life. Where I know everybody else trying to hide their kids and their identity. I don't care. I'm an open book. So y'all gonna see bouts of my baby. I'm gonna do some little vlogs with us here and there. I'm gonna flip my channel around. So we're gonna y'all will be seeing me. Y'all will be seeing little Miss Open out here. Now I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss nothing. Trying to make sure I didn't miss nothing. I don't think I did. I think I got almost all the comments. Oh, thank you, Michelle A. Said I missed you. I was watching Opinionated News. Yes, y'all, they took my little news station, y'all. They came in, gave me the foreclosure sign, and I just said F it. Because one thing about me, I'm a positive person. I'm not coming out here to be dramatic and cause drama. I was coming out here to just make sure y'all know what was going on out here and move right along. That's all I was trying to do. But it became a mess. Everybody liked to talk about everybody else, but they didn't want to be talked about. So I said, you know what, fuck them, because I'm gonna talk about me anyway. I've watched plenty of people succeed on YouTube talking just about them, being about what they got going on, and I'm happy to tell y'all my life, my story. I wish I could have told this story on camera looking like somebody. But we're gonna get there, y'all. But if y'all like my little backdrop down back there, I that's what took me. So I had to set my live 30 minutes back because I was trying to put stuff in StreamYard. Y'all know my StreamYards never looked good. I never had my music in there for real. So I tried to become back a little more professional. So if y'all like that, throw me a couple of traffic lights down in the chat. I'm going to be getting out of here. I'm going to play my outro. I hope everybody have a nice night. Remember to say your prayers. Pray over your children, your parents, yourselves, your lovers, your friends, your enemies. Those are the ones you need to pray on the most. Your enemies. Pray over them so you can keep yourself protected and grounded in this world of we don't know what is going on. I say 2025 is the year of confusion. People are out here to confuse us, but the sane has to stay righteous. You have to walk that path, you all. Verbal abuse is never okay. Never okay to anyone. Your kids, your lover, your mother, your father, your friend. It may be okay to your enemy sometimes, but you remember what you do to others will come back to you. So remember what you spew from your mouth has the possibility to come back and spew at you. Thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sticking around, coming in and out of my little bushes. I love you. Bye friends, and I love you. You ain't even called me last night, Helpful. Call me. I'm about to be off here because I see you up. Call me. Call me. I love y'all. Thank you, Vibes Queen. You know how we rock. I appreciate you. Raquel, thank you. I do watch your shorts. I am a supporter. I might not drop comments, but I am one of those people that watch your shorts. Michelle A, I didn't know who you were before. I know who you are now. I appreciate you. Warrior, I'm happy that you told a piece of your story as I was telling mine. Continue to stop by the news station, y'all. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. Golden Copper, I know y'all were in the building earlier. And anybody else that I missed, I do apologize. You all have a great night. And remember to tune in to Opinionated News Station as often as you can. Good night. Stick around. About to play my little outro, and we're out of here. Why it won't play for me? Deuces.
There's no testimony without a test. I'm here cause he said I could be. He has wrapped his arms around me. My life is a testament. I must tell someone about it. My life is a testament. I can't keep quiet just like Jesus. I was risen from the dead, I'm his child, just as he said. His love is greater than life's expectations. The shield of his grace is my protection. I got a testimony, yes I do. For his favor has kept me through. He can do the same for you. Try him and watch what he do. I testify he is more than enough. You will make it through even when it's rough. Give him all the thanks and praise. Be blessed for the rest of your days. There's no testimony without a test. He has wrapped his arms around me. My life just like Jesus. I was risen from the dead, I'm his child, just as he said. His love is greater than life's expectations. The shield of his grace is my protection. I thank you, Lord, I thank you. There's no testimony without a test. I'm here cause he said I could be. He has wrapped his arms around me. My life is a testament. I must tell someone about it. My life is a testament. I can't keep quiet, just like Jesus. I was risen from the dead, I'm his child, just as he said. His love is greater than life's expectations. The shield of his grace is my protection. I got a testimony, yes I do. For his favor has kept me through. He can do the same for you. Try him and watch what he do. I testify he is more than enough. You will make it through, even when it's rough. Give him all the thanks and praise. Be blessed for the rest of your days. There's no testimony without a test. He has wrapped his arms around me. My life is a testament. I must tell someone about it. My life is a testament. I can't keep quiet, just like Jesus. I was risen from the dead, I'm his child, just as he said. His love is greater than life's expectations. The shield of his grace is my protection. I thank you, Lord, I thank you. There's no testimony